Everybody, welcome. I'm Matt. That's Alonso. That's Christy.
Hello.
You're watching Breakfast All Day.
You are.
Little
And
punchy.
or listening.
And or listening. Right. Watching, listening.
You might be in your car and think,
be.
I want to watch this too, but I shouldn't because I'm in my car.
No,
Eyes
you
on the
totally
road,
should.
you.
No,
Don't
totally watch
text.
it. Totally. They're going to talk about Abominable. I didn't see it because I don't believe in snowmen.
He's real and he's spectacular.
Is-
So I'll describe the very complicated.
So it's not Abominable.
I'll describe Abominable. It's How to Train Your Dragon with Fur. It's How to Train Your Yeti, I suppose. It is from DreamWorks Animation.
You can't spell Yeti without E.T. is what I like to say.
It is, and it's got some E.T., and it's got some King Kong, and it's got pieces of lots of other movies.
Some never-ending story.
Yeah.
Can't spell Yeti without
Oh.
It's got some Big Hero 6. It's got a lot of things. So Chloe Bennet is the voice of a teenager named Yi who is living in, it's not Beijing. Is it Shanghai? Is that where
I
she?
don't know if they ever say.
They don't
It's
say
it's
in a
pretty
Chinese
large
city.
Chinese city.
It's a large Chinese city, and
It's not Beijing because they go to Beijing.
they talk about going to Beijing. So she is kind of like this rebel badass, and when all the other girls are worried about their hair and purses and selfies, she is busting her butt working all these jobs as a dog walker and various restaurants, and she lives with her mom and her nai, and her father has just died recently.
Yes, because
and
it's a cartoon.
because there has to be a dead parent. Yes, and so
taking a page out of the Disney We Hate Parents.
right. There's all kinds of theft going on here from various other sources of other kinds of animated films. And so Yi, when she's upstairs on the roof of her apartment building, realizes one evening that she's not alone. There is this giant white blue-eyed furry creature who has escaped from the lab where he is being studied. Apparently they want to find out what he can do. He's an abominable snowman. He's a Yeti, and he's been living in this lab. He escapes, and
It turns out the ones that were abominable were us all.
right. The friends we made along the way, he becomes E.T. to her Elliot, essentially. I mean, the first time that they see each other, the first time that she realizes who he is hiding on the roof beneath some trash in a shed, she lays out a string of pork buns for him, like Reese's Pieces. There are lots of little visual and narrative callbacks here to other things.
And she is ultimately, the whole quest is to get him home.
Yes, they realize that there's a hand gesture they make to realize that Mount Everest is home, and it's not phoning home; it's bringing him home. Yes,
Climbing home.
But he's adorable and big and goofy and cuddly, and her downstairs neighbors, these two cousins, one who is a little bit older, who is on his way to medical school in Beijing and who is like very preppy and perfect at all times, and one who is like a goofy like 12-year-old kid, I want to say. And so they go along with her on this journey to return Everest back home, but there are scientists. Yeah, they call him Everest.
Okay.
There are scientists and explorers who also want him, and they have all kinds of high-tech weaponry and drones and machinery to hunt him down, and they may or may not have good intentions in wanting to track him down. And it's a lot of movies that you've seen before, but it's also really lively, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous film. Like if you've seen any of the How to Train Your Dragon or Kung Fu Panda movies, you know that the DreamWorks does just like beautifully delicate animation and just a gorgeous contrast in textures and colors. And I took Nick to see it last night, and we accidentally went to at the AMC down in Torrance. We accidentally went to the theater with like the giant Dolby Atmos and the reclining seats and like the seats that vibrate. So I'm like, why is my ticket $21? Oh, here's why. But if you can see a film like this on a screen like that, it is a gorgeous immersive experience, and it moves really well. And I got kind of choked up by the end. I will admit, like, even though I knew what was coming, I know this story.
Yeah.
It's so lovely and so sweet. And her journey is quite touching. The reason why she wants to help the monster has a lot more to do with just his journey. There's stuff going on that she's got to take care of, and
I've said before, like it's not so much the theft as what you do with the stolen goods. So yeah, as much as there was so much familiarity going on here, I was dazzled by the look of it. It is just exquisitely animated, and the color schemes are really gorgeous. But I did care about the story, even though like you'll see a lot of the switcheroos coming, and you'll basically have the basic, an outline in your head of how it's all going to go, but they pull it off. It's done quite well. The writer director is a woman named Jill Culton, and and it was produced by Suzanne Berge, who is actually the wife of a former boss of mine, who also produced DreamWorks' Home. It's funny, DreamWorks doesn't get the fawning press that like Pixar does. But when I sit down and look at a list of DreamWorks movies, I really like quite a few of them. I love the Dragon series.
Yeah.
I love the Kung Fu Panda series. I will still go to bat for Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
That's a
That was
terrific
fun.
movie.
That was a fun movie.
Underappreciated thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Captain Underpants. Like I think
which we all love.
Yes. Wasn't the Christmas one Arthur Christmas theirs?
No, that's Aardman.
Oh, that's Aardman.
But the Croods, I thought was actually kind of charming.
Okay.
So, DreamWorks does not always get its due as doing really solid animation.
It's a really great cast too. I love that it is a young woman of color who is our heroine here. Yes. Eddie Izzard and Sarah Paulson are among the voice cast, and like the use of music here is quite powerful. It's not just like that there is a transporting, soaring score, but like how the music plays a role in her journey, in how Everest,
manifests,
finds himself, what he can do. He can do cool stuff. That's all I will say. But it's not just like background stuff. It's actually germane to the story.
If you're taking a small child, they will probably not recognize the other movies that this movie is lifting from. And frankly, like I remember thinking afterwards, oh well, it's like E.T. with a Chinese girl, but with a Chinese girl is a big deal.
That's a big deal.
So it's new and different.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Nick did know that it was E.T., but I'm not sure. Nick, did that bother you? Did you enjoy Abominable? Yeah.
There you go.
There is your review from a 10-year-old. So I liked it quite a bit. I'm saying, what am I saying? 7.2?
I said 7.
Okay. So our number is 7.1. It's at 79% on the tomato meter. If your kids want to see it, you will enjoy yourself. You'll be transported. It's quite lovely.
Yeah, it is. You'll have a good time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And maybe drop over to patreon.com/BeFastAllDay and get a load of what we're doing over there. We got TV recaps and movie news and trailers and all kinds of good stuff. So if you're already a Patreon member, we appreciate it. And if not, perhaps you'd like to become one. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks.
Bye.